Hello and welcome to Starside Cafe. I'm Zach and joining me is Aaron.
Hello.
And we are looking at Katana Zero. I almost forgot the name of it even though it was just on my screen. So I've finished this game, which is why I am clicking through the different levels. Once you finish it, you can sort of select a level like a VHS tape and stick it in your little TV. So I'm gonna play through the second mission. I don't want to spoil too much of the story because it's actually really engaging. But I like the presentation style of this game. Have you played?
Yeah, I was gonna say
yet?
I haven't, but the aesthetic is great. Like that VHS aesthetic is so cool to me.
Yeah, I love the old 80s, 90s style aesthetic. And speaking of which, the soundtrack to this is really synthwave heavy, so I'm a big fan of that. You can get the soundtrack on Bandcamp, and I did after I finished this game because I liked it so much. But so there are dialogue options.
Exclusives?
No, it's on Steam as well, I believe.
Oh, okay. But you played it on Switch, right?
I did. I played it on Switch, and maybe it's just because it's sort of arcadey that I feel like the Switch is the best place to play all of those games. But so yeah, there is dialogue options, and so you can kind of select how much you want to engage with whoever you're talking to. So you might learn stuff that you didn't know. Or you wouldn't have known if you didn't actually go through all the dialogue options with them, or you can just sort of cut them off if you just want to get through the dialogue. But yeah, so basically you are an assassin who wields a katana, and there are these really cryptic screens that pop up that say 10 days left or 9 days remaining. And you'll wake up in your apartment, and then you'll come meet this guy, your psychiatrist, and he'll ask you some questions, and you'll go through some dialogue options, and then he'll give you a drug, which basically is the thing that sort of powers your ability to control time. So you have this mechanic where you can slow down time to use your katana to reflect bullets back at the people who shoot them at you. And when you die, you can kind of VHS style rewind the tape and go back to the beginning of that section and start it over again. So it is basically, what is that Tom Cruise movie, Live, Die, Repeat?
Oh, The Edge of Tomorrow.
Yeah, it's basically Edge of Tomorrow, the game, but you're like a ninja assassin guy, which is very cool to me. But
did you ever play Hotline Miami?
I did not.
That did not involve time travel, but it had the same loop of basically every room is almost like a puzzle you have to solve, and if you died, you automatically went to the beginning of the room again, and it would involve killing everyone in the room, basically.
Yeah, so they're laid out in these sort of, left to right or right to left style hallways, basically, and you're just going through them, and you have to take out all the enemies, and there are some that are more stealth oriented, so you're sort of rewarded for not killing the enemies. So it does break up the formula a little bit here and there, but basically the core mechanics of it is you have your katana that you sort of hack and slash your way through the enemies, and everything's a one-hit kill. So whether you're hitting someone or they're hitting you, it's a one-hit kill, so you can't take damage of any kind. And then you have your slow down time mechanic so that you can reflect bullets, and then you have a dodge roll that I think gives you invincibility frames, so I do a lot of that. And you have to sort of kick open these doors, and a lot of them, if you just wait for somebody to walk up to them, you'll kill them immediately if you kick open the door while they're standing next to it. But a lot of these levels, and then at the end you get this sort of black and white VHS style replay of it, so you can sort of marvel at how awesome you were when you completed it. But
you're very good at it, even in regular motion.
So yeah, if you die like I just did there, you sort of rewind.
Died, I guess.
You rewind all the way back to the beginning, and you can sort of. So then okay, well there's that guy that's going to pop out of that door, and he's going to shoot at you, so you can go ahead and take him out. So it is kind of that live, die, repeat thing, the Edge of Tomorrow thing, where the first time you encounter like a fight, you don't know how it's going to go, so you end up dying and failing, but the next time you're like ready for it, so you look for that one guy that got you last time.
Now, I love the visual style of this game.
Yeah, I like the pixel art quite a bit. And you can't hear the music right now, but the music is very cool.
So how much variety is there in levels? Is it always this, or do they mix up the gameplay at all? Do you get new weapons or anything? Or abilities?
There is one mission where you play as another guy who's an assassin, and he has all the same abilities that this character has, but he also has another ability where you can, when you slow down time, you have this line that you can draw in a straight line, and when you hit attack, he'll like shoot across that line and take out anything that was in the middle of the line. So it's sort of like a quick attack that like you can sort of do across like a certain amount of space, which is really cool. Mm-hmm. And then as far as other weapons go, you don't really get different weapons, but you can get other katanas. They're like these sort of collectibles or hidden things that you'll find. And at the end of the game, when you saw like at the beginning where we had that like stack of VHS tapes and I was selecting which level, there's one in there that is like a little lab that you can go to, and if you found all the key cards that are sort of hidden throughout the levels, then you'll be able to unlock, I think there are 5 different katanas and they have different like special effects. One of them, I think when you hack and slash someone, like rainbow blood comes out of them. And there's one that's like kind of like the Master Sword, where when you do a slice, it'll like shoot something out, but that has to recharge. And then there's another one that I think when you slash, it like does a fire effect. So there's some kind of cool ones, but also
the dialogue seems pretty funny too.
Yeah, there's a good sense of humor to this game. I completed the one mission, and now it's just sort of, I didn't want to give too much away, so I'm kind of like, I think I cut around in this, so this is not just necessarily straightforward mission after mission or whatever, so ignore the story that you're saying, but this is just to give a sense of what the gameplay is like.
It seems super satisfying.
It is. It's very fun. Like, and some of these are not necessarily I'm nailing it the first time. Some of these, like, you will have to, like, at this point, I've played it enough times that I get what to do. But when I first played it through, sometimes you have to die to sort of get the sense of what the layout of the room is and where the enemies are coming from, so that you can understand where you need to go and when to roll and when to use your time mechanic. And then at the very top of the screen, you'll see there's also a little time bar. So if you if you take too much time, it's not usually an issue, but if you take too much time, you'll run out of juice at the top there and you'll have to start over again.
Oh, because that's like the drug you took kind of wearing off?
That could just be like a game type of a thing where it's like, you know, if you play Mario, you only have so much time before you fail if you don't complete the level. It could be one of those things, because it doesn't seem to be tied into like the actual mechanics of the game. The rewind mechanic is, but the actual time at the top is not, so I'm not sure about that. But
how is the story overall?
Like I said, it's a lot more engaging than I thought it was going to be. It's really, really interesting to the point where there are a lot of, like, sometimes it's fairly cryptic and there are a lot of twists to it, to the point where you will want to play the game more than once, because you'll pick up on stuff the second time that you didn't pick up on the first time. And they leave it open where they could do a sequel or like some DLC to sort of expand on the story. And I hope they do, because I was really into the story of this while I was playing it. Oh yeah, and there are those pickup, like I picked up a knife, or you can pick up like a lamp or a bottle of some sort, and you can throw it at an enemy. So you have some ranged options when it comes to like throwing something, or if you unlock that one sword where you can throw something if you slash. So those are about the only ranged options you get. This one, this floor that I'm going to now will give you a sense of some of the like creative ways they switch up the flow of things.
This is very cool.
Yeah, so they do some stuff like this. There's another one where you're on like a motorcycle. So they do some cool stuff with it, and some of the stealth, there's like stealth sections that break up the flow of it as well, where you're like hiding behind stuff and trying to avoid being seen. So that was all very cool and introduces a different level of challenge that wasn't there before. But yeah, they get fairly creative, even though they keep the formula of it relatively simple throughout the entire thing.
Yeah, this is awesome.
But yeah, I highly recommend it. I did post, like, just to plug our Instagram channel, or our Instagram feed, I did post little snippets of gameplay on there, just because we couldn't do the video yet at that point, so I wanted to get some gameplay up so people could see what it looked like. But
how much is this?
I believe it was $15, so it's pretty cheap. And yeah. I highly recommend it. I was gonna get Cuphead, and then I remembered that this game came out on Switch, and so I was like, okay, I'm definitely getting this game.
And how long would you say it took you, your first playthrough?
Probably roughly 5 to 8 hours. It just it'll take you longer depending on how well you get through the stages, or if you get stuck on something. Like, I got stuck on one particular part of a pretty challenging mission for at least like an hour, where I had to replay it multiple times. But if you're better at it than I am, then you'll have no trouble getting through that.
It has a pretty forgiving difficulty curve, though, in general.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say it's a super difficult game. There are some parts that are challenging. I think this is actually the spot that I got stuck on, because up above there on the third floor, you see that gun, and there's just a lot of other guys there that can shoot at you. And so it took me a long time to figure out how to time the slowdown mechanic. And
you're nailing it, though. You did it in one go.
Well, that was just the successful one that I clipped in there. But yeah, you get a sense of some of the more difficult stuff, and then like story elements like this, where the guy's like, don't talk to your target or whatever. You can either choose to like hear what he has to say, and you may find out more about what's going on with you and the person who's like sending you to do all this, or you can just like decide to just go ahead and comply with your orders. So
are there multiple endings?
That's a good question, actually. I don't know. I don't think so. But you will understand more of it if you're willing to take your time and actually let a lot of those conversations play out. So I would say, as much as you can, let a lot of them play out rather than cutting them off, unless you're just in a hurry. But anyway, I highly recommend this game, and yeah, we'll see you on the next one.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.